Welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Willams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Willams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
All right, welcome to the show today. And unfortunately, we're having some issues with the video here, and I got to straighten that out, which I will do later. I've been having some issues all day with my stomach related to my new medication. So I just want to let everyone know what's going on here. We're here today for Sports Corner show with me, Ralph Willams, Smokin' Jim Frazier. And also today we have two special guests with us, and that's coming up shortly. Smokin' Jim, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. I'm ready for this one.
All right. Okay. Let's get started here with the show. I have my rant for today. And I have one thing that I want to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers. What a disgraceful loss on Sunday. I call them overpaid bums. Why? Because they're like bums. What did TJ Watt do? Absolutely nothing until the end of the game. He had one sack and he went to the sideline. What did Cam Hayward do? Absolutely nothing. All right. These are guys who whined and cried and complained and bitched and moaned about money. And guess what happened? The Steelers caved in and gave them money. I said this at the beginning of the season when they were whining. Let them play out this year, and then we'll see, and we'll sit down and talk. Steelers went the other direction, and now look what's going on. That's my rant for today. Smokin' Jim's wisdom.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. This is going to be kind of short. One with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you can't win them all. My high school coach used to say that, and this weekend's a big one for the University of Pittsburgh. I think that Notre Dame's going to take over the stadium. I think there'll be more Notre Dame fans there than Pitt fans. Pitt had 2 weeks to get ready for this big game, but Notre Dame is coming off of a huge win against Navy where they beat them by about 50 points. So should be a great game, but I'll be very, very shocked if Pitt's able to beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this week. They have another bye week in college football, as they say. And, so we'll see what goes on there. Sports Nuts checking in. Brandon Keeler, I want to thank you for checking in as well for the Sports Nuts show. And also, I have some great news I want to talk about and I'm going to share with everyone right now because I'm so happy about this news. And the news is that we are going to be broadcasting all of our shows on the Sports Nuts Network, on their network. And here it is here. And we're going to be all across the country and syndicated across the United States and around the world on different radio stations, including Hawaii. And so I just want to let everyone know that we'll be broadcasting on Pensman Sports. We'll be broadcasting on Tiger Stripes Media. All those, we're all in part of the Sports Nuts family, an umbrella of broadcasting under the Sports Nuts network here as well. So I just want to let everyone know that, and that's coming up also real soon here. All right, first we got to pay a couple bills, and we're going to get to our guests. Our biggest guest today is from the Lions.com, and but hang on for a moment here. First, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Mata today, 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. They are a studio sponsor here at Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland, as they are our studio sponsor. Also, we're sponsored by Mike Dotson. Or I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Jeez. Here we go. Now I found it. All right. Mike Dotson Realty. Call 410-596-1681. If you're planning on any real estate needs in Ocean City, give Mike Dotson a call. That number again, 410-596-1681. Mike Dotson Realty. All right. Also, we have a new sponsor, and this sponsor today is going to be sponsoring Tyler, and that is Big Jim's Bikes and Scooters. Call Big Jim at 410-289-1203. If you're in Ocean City, Maryland, need a bicycle, you want to ride around the boardwalk or around Ocean City, need a kick and go scooter, or and they also have little motors on them. And also, they even have the trikes with the five. You put 5 people on, somebody pedals up in the front. Big Jim's Bikes, 410-289-1203. Tell them Ralph Williams sent you. Big Jim's been renting bikes and equipment for many, many years. So give Big Jim a call. All right, let's get our guests up today. As usual, we have our regular guest here that comes on once in a while, Pensman Sports. How are you, Pensman?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right,
I hope your stomach feels better.
Yeah, so do I. Thank you. I just, well, whatever. Anyway, and we have Tyler. Tyler, I can't pronounce your last name. Could you please pronounce it for us, or let us know what it is?
Calvaruso.
All right, Calvaruso. Tyler Calvaruso writes for thelions.com, and he's here today to talk with us about Penn State football, the future of Penn State football, what's going on with the coaching search, who's the candidate, who's number 1, who's number 10, and all that other stuff. Tyler, welcome to the program. And first, tell us what you do for Lions.com.
Yeah, I've been covering mainly Penn State recruiting since joined Lions 24/7, 24/7 Sports, May 2022. It's a lot of fun. It's a great gig. Can't complain, but it's definitely a different time than I'm used to on the beat. This is our first coaching search in a long time that we've had to cover. So it's been interesting for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Here. What? You mean Penn State's looking for a coach? So anyway, all right. So anyhow, Brian Pettit, I want to welcome you to the program. Thank you for your comments. How are you today, Brian? And Brian is part of the Tiger Stripes Network as well. I'm going to put that up in just a second here. Had a little, as usual, every week seem to have technical issues. I don't know what's going on around here. I guess the computers are jammed up because the government shutdown stopped. So, we'll see what happens here. Hold on a minute. Right there. Down. All right, there it is right there. Tiger Stripes Media. If I can get it up there. Nope, won't go up. All right, well then. Oh, there we are. Tiger Stripes Media. With Brian Pettit. He covers Clemson football and much more. Great status guy, and he also is a contributor to the Sports Nuts Show, which will be on tonight at 7:30. Tune in on the Sports Nuts Network. Pensman, Brian Pettit will be hosting. Matt will also be on. I believe his last name's Thomas, right, Pensman? Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Matt Thomas. Okay.
That's right.
Okay, Tyler, let's get started. First, the coaching situation at Penn State. What are we looking at? Who's the number 1 candidates? What are we looking at?
I feel like you have to categorize them. You've got the big swings that are going on behind the scenes and maybe guys who are generating a little bit more chatter, maybe a bit more quote unquote realistic. The bigger swings, you're thinking about guys like Mike Elko at Texas A&M, Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, 2 guys who are not traditional Southerners. Mike Elko's from the Northeast. Kalen DeBoer is from the Midwest and South Dakota. Those guys are high on the list for athletic director Pat Kraft, but they're going to be tough to reel in. Then in that other group that I mentioned, guys who've been generating a lot of chatter, Elijah Drinkwitz at Missouri, Brent Key from Georgia Tech. Those are some of the guys we have our eye on. And I would say Drinkwitz has probably popped up on the radar more early this week. I think there's some buzz there that we've been tracking with him. So those are the 4 I've circled right now. We've seen some other names tossed around as well. Guys like Brian Hartline at Ohio State, Buckeyes offensive coordinator, played wide receiver in the NFL, well-renowned assistant coach. It seems like he's going to get his shot to be a head coach at some point somewhere. His name's been tossed around a bunch, but those 4 that I mentioned are the ones that I think we're focusing the most on right now.
Is Brian Kelly on that list?
He's not, nah.
Okay. Because there were Pensman and I saw some rumors going around that there was that Brian Kelly was on that list, and I said to myself, "Are you kidding me? You're going from one bad coach to a really horrible college coach who doesn't seem to be able to win the big games anywhere he goes." And we had a Brian Kelly special when LSU lost their game. The last time they lost with him at head coach. So Smoking Jim, any comments for Tyler? Anything you want to ask him? You there, Smoking Jim?
Sorry about that. Yeah, Tyler. Just real quick, do you think that Coach Franklin gets the head job somewhere in 2026? If so, where do you think he'll land?
It's a great question, man. He's been linked to Virginia Tech plenty. I think that would be a pretty solid landing spot for him, to be completely honest with you. I think that's a situation where, one, you land in a recruiting area where he's plenty familiar. Penn State really hammered that Tidewater, Virginia, DMV area throughout Franklin's tenure as head coach. I think that'd be a nice spot for him. I think he would be in a position where he could get that program to the top of the ACC consistently. So that's a potential opportunity that's been floated. Nothing done, of course, on any front with James Franklin. Auburn, places like maybe Florida State, if it opens up. I really can't put Arkansas, of course, down the SEC. I'm not quite sure if he is indeed going to wind up with a gig this cycle. I think there are certain situations that are more appealing to James Franklin than others. And if it's not the right fit for him, if he feels it's not the right fit for him this cycle, I could see a scenario where he takes a year, maybe dabbles in a little bit of the media space. I think that's something he'd be pretty good at, and then wait and see what comes about next cycle. But when it comes to the jobs that, I've heard maybe Franklin could be linked to, and I think would be a nice fit, Virginia Tech, maybe that Auburn gig, depending on the way Auburn takes its search. And if Florida State opens, that's one I would keep an eye on. Remember, FSU was involved with Franklin a little bit before Jimbo Fisher got that extension back in the day. So there's a little bit of familiarity there. There's been some flirtation there in the past. But again, it's not open yet. So really at this point, it's just hypothetical.
All right. Pensman, you have any questions for Tyler?
I was told, I told Ralph and I told Tiger Straits Media, we have a talk show every Saturday morning about college sports. I said that he was linked to UNC. That's where I think. But ever since Brian Kelly got fired, they have him linked to there. So what's your opinion on that? Like, where do you think Kelly's going to go?
Oh man, that's a question that I'm not really sure I could put a finger on right now, because I think we all know who Brian Kelly is at this point in his coaching career, persona wise, on field results wise. What kind of job, one, would he even be seriously considered for, given the way things played out at LSU in the end? Two, where does he view himself in the coaching landscape? Would Brian Kelly take a quote unquote lesser P5 job? I'm not really sure that's something he would do. Because again, like I said, we know the persona, we know who Brian Kelly is. I feel like there are only a few jobs that he might view himself as a fit for, and likewise, I think there are only certain jobs that college administrators view him as a fit for. So he's another one. You asked, James Franklin, is he going to land somewhere this cycle? Brian Kelly, I think he's a little less likely to land somewhere this cycle. It might be another year before he pops back up in that conversation. I'm not sure he lands anywhere this coaching cycle, guys.
Oh yeah. He might.
I listened to your athletic director, and he said that he wants somebody modern and the NLL. Would they bring Urban Meyer back? Do you think?
I don't think that's something that really would. Yeah, I don't think that's a route that they're going. It was a name early on in the search. There was a little bit of buzz behind the scenes, and it was something that we had to vet. And initially, it sounded like maybe it had a little bit of legs, but beyond that, I don't think it really made it past the first week of the search. So I would say no on that front.
Okay.
All right.
I was just wondering.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Pensman. Thank you, Tyler. And Tyler, I don't believe Urban Meyer will get a job, because he has this bad habit of quitting, in the middle of, when the going gets tough, you know what I mean? He seems to quit and say he has a health problem or a family problem or his car broke down or something. He seems to have that kind of a problem. Also, don't forget Mike Gundy's sitting out there. Somebody, everyone forgets about him. He's sitting out there as well. But we'll see where Mike Gundy goes. I don't see Arkansas keeping Bobby Petrino. They are not. They're going after somebody else. We're going to find out where that goes as well. Sports Nuts says welcome, and they're glad to have me, and I appreciate that, Sports Nuts and Brandon Keeler. It's a pleasure to be working with you. So just to let everyone know that, if you didn't hear the beginning of the show, RW Media Productions will be broadcasted live on the Sports Nuts channel. And we're going to be on several radio stations across the United States and around the world as well, syndicated. And just to let everyone know as well. Now, on the Bark side today, there's some technical issues on Bark and on Huddle Sports Network. So if you don't see us on there, check out Huddle Sports Network's website or Facebook page as well. All right. Let's see here. All right, that's Sports Nuts there, I believe. Is that yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Everything's
Sports
been
List.
going for you. Everything's been going for me very well. Thank you. I appreciate it. Those of you who don't know, I had to cancel all last week's programming. I was in a hospital. I had a situation where I had a wound situation. Watch tomorrow on my Ralph's Opinion show. And the way I see it, it's going to be a special 1 hour edition. I have a lot to talk about, including my hospital stay. I picked the brains of some of the nurses who told me some stories about the current medical situation in the in hospitalization and whatnot. It's going to be a really good show tomorrow, a special 1 hour the way I see it. And we'll talk about the government shutdown that has stopped, and the government will be open starting Friday, which I don't know why they waited till Friday to do that. I hate when people do that. It's the end of the week, go into the weekend, start all over on Monday. You know what I mean? I used to know this kid. He never came to school Monday through Thursday, but he showed up on Friday and he showed up at lunchtime. So I mean, anyway, but Tyler, right now, currently with Terry Smith, I see that they are fighting. I mean, that they have these games that they've lost have not been blowouts. They've been pretty close, except for the Ohio State game. I actually thought that the Ohio State game. Let me ask you this: have you heard anything that if, and I say if, Terry Smith was to beat Ohio State, would he get this job?
Nah, I don't think so. I think when it comes to Terry Smith's future at Penn State, comes down to whether or not he's going to be retained by the next staff. I think retaining him would carry immense value for Penn State's next head coach, especially from a recruiting perspective. Terry Smith is so
Yes.
respected in the
Yes.
Western Pennsylvania area. He's responsible for a lot of
Oh, yeah.
this roster. And he's not even just Western Pennsylvania in the in-state recruiting angle. I know a lot of people like to credit Terry Smith for that, and rightfully so. But I mean, if you go look at some of these guys who make up Terry Smith's cornerback room, Darius Dixon's out from California. AJ Harris is from Alabama. He has, whether it be portal or high school recruiting, Terry Smith has been able to take things national for Penn State and go out and get guys that he really, really likes. So I think of all the assistants on the Penn State staff, you can make a case for, I think, several of those guys. But Terry Smith, from a retainment standpoint, carries the most value for Penn State's next head coach. But he's not going to be that head guy. And I think that's something that is a little bit bigger than Terry Smith. And that's not a knock on him in the slightest. But at the end of the day, he's a hell of a football coach. And again, I think Penn State would be wise to keep him around for this next chapter.
All right, Gabby has checked in. Thank you, Gabby. And Gabby, I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. I made some new subscribers and some new friends at the hospital. So just want to let that's just the kind of guy I am. I make friends everywhere I go, no matter where it's at. And people see me around and they go, "Hey, I see you on YouTube." That's right. So there you go. All right, Smoking Jim, any questions for Tyler? Any more questions for him?
No, that's what I was going to ask him about Terry Smith, and I appreciate him clearing that up. That was a great answer.
All right. Thank you, Pensman. You have any questions for Tyler?
For those that don't know you, like myself and Ralph, I don't know if how much Ralph knows about you. Could you go and give me a little rundown of what you do when you on a regular basis, like throughout the day?
Well, I'll tell you what, my day's changed a lot ever since Franklin's firing, just because, not a lot of people really care about Penn State recruiting right now. I feel like I start my day in the morning staring at my laptop thinking to myself, what the hell am I going to write? Because, just not a lot of people want to hear what's going down with Penn State's 2026 class right now. With that being said, it's a situation, it's a wait and see situation. I think that's the best way to classify it. Penn State staff is waiting to see what direction this head coaching search goes and their futures on the staff. Then when it comes to the recruits who have remained on board in this 26 class, a lot of it is just tracking where these kids are visiting beyond Penn State right now and seeing what direction they're going to take things, because we're 22 days away from the beginning of the early signing period on December 3rd now. These guys, many of them want to enroll early at their school of choice. They want to know where they're going to be playing college football sooner rather than later. So it's kind of crunch time for these guys, many of which would like to see who Penn State brings in as its next head coach before making a final decision. So really, I'm just focused on that right now. Obviously playing a a role in our coverage of the coaching search as well, but it's mainly focused on what's going on with this 26 class. You got 16 guys left on board. There's potential for more movement, either in favor of Penn State or against Penn State, with potential flips, decommitments, whatever it may be. So there's still a lot to cover on my end for sure.
All right. Thank you, Tyler. Tyler, tell us a little bit about this year's team. I know, there's been some setbacks with the coaching going down and everything, recruits leaving. I know Pitt is I know Pitt met this week, and because they have a bye week this week, they met with some of former Penn State recruits, trying to round up every one of them that they can. I know that's hurting the team, but does Penn State have a plan to counteract this recruiting loss? Some of these players.
I mean, frankly, there's only so much you could do, right? Because this current staff is essentially recruiting with a hand tied behind its back.
Right.
Nobody knows what is going to happen. They don't know whether or not they're going to be in State College at this time next year. So I give the staff credit, the remaining staff credit. They've been really transparent with the commits throughout this process. They've, not necessarily encouraged guys to look elsewhere, but they've approached it with an understanding of, look, we get the situation that we're all in right now. It's unenviable for all parties involved because, like I said, these recruits want to know where they're going to be playing next year. And with so much uncertainty surrounding the Penn State program right now, a lot of them, you figure a head coaching hire is going to be received well, and plenty of them will still land in State College when it's all said and done. That is a possibility, but you got to have alternatives. You can't go into the beginning of the early signing period not having anything on your docket beyond Penn State. Because one, what if you don't receive that new hire well? And two, what if the new staff doesn't want you? Because we see that pop up from time to time, especially in a day and age with the NIL era where we're not just talking about honoring scholarships anymore, guys. We're talking about dollars and cents commitments. So there's a lot of variables at play. And
plus the transfer portal too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the rules of the transfer portal have changed, guys. For next year, they're going to do. There will be no transfer portal movement after the spring games, or after spring practice, and during training camp. I think they've even limited it down to like around the bowl season. They're trying to conquer that situation. I'm actually quite surprised that they went ahead and made some of these rule changes with this transfer portal because it was getting out of control. Spring practice would be over and you'd lose half your team. I mean, you going into the season, and then all of a sudden you're losing, and then you got to go back out again and try to get other guys to replace half the team you lost. So I mean, it's a big mess, but at least they cleaned up the transfer portal end of it. They still haven't cleaned up the NIL part of it. I want them to have some kind of a cap that each university can only spend X amount of money to make it kind of fair. Almost like the NFL and the NHL and some of these other professional teams. They have to get a grip on that, the NCAA, or else this is going to get really out of control, and it's already that way. Tyler, if you look on the screen there, Brandon says hello. He hasn't talked to you for a while. And also subscribe, everybody, to not only just the Sports Nuts, but the Pensman Sports, Tiger Stripes Media. Also tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. tonight, Bethel Park TV, Smoking Jim Frazier, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Mike Rohde, and Chip Hayner will be on tonight for the Pittsburgh Sports Line show. They've been on for a long, long time. They're celebrating an anniversary this year. You can watch them on YouTube and Facebook. They have their own YouTube and Facebook channel. You can also respond on Facebook. On Facebook, I want to thank Cheryl for tuning in. Cheryl is tuning in on Facebook. All right. Also, it says Steelers just signed Asante Samuel Jr. Oh, okay. Well, we'll check into that. Let me get to my sources while we're doing the show here. I'll get into my sources and see what they tell me. So if they have, that's a good signing. I hope it's true because the Steelers have not signed anybody as far as the second wide receiver goes or whatever, and they need cornerback help now. They just got rid of Juan Thornhill and signed another guy. And so it's just been one thing after another with the Steeler defense, the most overpaid, defense in the entire league. So we'll see what goes on there. Tyler,
I got one question for you. Would Terry Smith be recruiting if you can't get a coach by recruitment time? You said that you have to work on recruitment. Got to find out what students come to State College or whatever, would Terry Smith take that recruitment job until you get a head coach?
Yeah, I think he's already, as interim head coach, he's already taken on a pretty big role in making sure this class stays together and dealing with the current roster as well. I think it's definitely a role that he could take on for the new head coach. I think it's really a strength for him. So, yeah, my answer to that would be yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any final questions for Tyler, Smoking Jim? Smoking Jim.
No, sir. No, sir.
All right. I hope we're not putting you to sleep there. All right. Anyway. All right. Okay. Okay. That's the same one. All right. Thank you, Tyler, for being part of the program. We'll be in touch again when a new coach is hired for next year's Penn State football season. You cover basketball as well, correct?
I do, yeah.
All right, good. We'll be checking in from time to time about the college basketball season and everything else. So thank you, Tyler, for being part of the program once again. And we'll talk to you again. Thank you.
For sure, man. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you,
Tyler.
All right. That was Tyler Russo from the lion.com, and he covers Penn State. It's great to find. I want to thank Brandon Keeler for helping me find this guy to talk about Penn State football, because I had somebody and they quit. So I had to find another way, and I found it. So there you go. Today, we were supposed to have somebody on from the Cincinnati Bengals. I was trying to reach out to some people to see if I can get somebody on to talk about the Cincy Bengals. That didn't happen, and all my pit contacts were busy. So I'll have to reach out to another pit contact before being that Pitt's playing Notre Dame this week. So we'll see what happens with that game. We'll talk about that later as well. Guys, your thoughts on Tyler? We'll start with you, Smoking Jim. Go ahead.
Man, excellent. Very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff, man. Man, that's big news. It's keeping him busy, man. The recruiting process. You got 5-star recruits like the running back spell from McKeesport, who's pretty much decommitted. You got the quarterback from Fort Cherry, who's looking around now at different places, and he said that one of the places on his list is wherever Franklin lands. So there's some recruits that's still somewhat committed to Franklin and wherever he goes to.
All right, Jeremy Ballwick is tuning in. Thank you, Jeremy. Also, Jeremy says, and I forgot to ask Tyler this question, how does he feel about Dan Campbell taking over the play calling for the Detroit Lions? That's an interesting thing. He took over play calling this game for the Detroit Lions. So I don't know what happened there. I guess that loss, that one other loss caused him to step up and take control of the play calling. Dan Campbell, has done that. Good, Pensman.
Dan Campbell did good there if he did the play calling on Sunday, because they mollywopped their opponent on Sunday.
Yeah, I know. Smoking Jim, we do something with the Sports Nuts program. It's called mollywop, and what I mean by that is they blow out a team or beat up a team or something. So, But anyway, this weekend was supposed to be Tank Davis versus Jake Paul, and I wanted to see Tank Davis knock Jake Paul's block off, but I didn't get my wish because Tank Davis got involved in a domestic problem, and the fight's been canceled. So that fight will not happen, and I'm not in a good mood because I wanted to see Tank Davis knock Jake Paul's block off. Smoking Jim, who is part of the Boxing Authorities show with Luther Dupree and Claudia Rosano, and his knowledge of boxing. Smoking Jim, what were your thoughts on this fight coming up this weekend if it was to happen?
Well, Tank Davis is a thug slug. I call him Crime Time. This guy has 14 arrest warrants to his credit. This is his second domestic in a year. The guy got house arrest a year ago and decided he wanted to go party somewhere else and then had to do 30 to 45 days in jail. This guy's a criminal. Only thing keeping him out of jail right now is millions of dollars in his boxing career. And, I'm on the other side. I was hoping Jake Paul would rough him up, man. Tank Davis got all the talent in the world, man, but he got a 2-cent brain, like most people from Baltimore.
Yeah, well, anybody named Tank, I like. Somebody like Tank, So, but anyway, yeah, yes.
Ralph, just want to let you know that it is official 14 minutes ago that Pittsburgh Steelers did sign Asante Samuel Jr. And he's added to the practice squad for now. So I guess that meeting went well today, and he signed today as of 15 minutes ago. So
that's good. What's he play, Pensman, real quick, please? Wide receiver,
cornerback.
Yeah, another corner. Okay.
Yeah, he's just like his dad.
Yeah. Well, Joey Porter's injured. Joey Porter's injured again. He'll be in the tub. So you know.
Remember Asante Samuel from the Eagles? It's the same position, but he'll be playing with the Steelers.
But it's junior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Smoking Jim, your thought on Asante Samuels Jr. Getting signed here by the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, he's a superstar, but he's coming off of injuries. That's why he was still out there. I think that he got a monetary settlement. But if he's healthy, if he's anywhere near his ability of before, he's a Pro Bowler, man. That would go down as one of the biggest steals, right along with Jalen, Ramsey. So this could be what the Pittsburgh Steelers really need if he's healthy.
Yeah, that's the big if, as they always say. If. There's always a lot of ifs when the Steelers sign somebody. That's always the case. So, but anyway, hang on a second here. I want to do something here real quick because this is the Pittsburgh Steelers when it comes to free agents. Hang on. Yeah, you know why I'm playing that? Because that's the Pittsburgh Steelers when they get free agents. They get them from the junk pile. They had a chance to sign a whole bunch of decent people, and then all of a sudden, they keep letting them walk away or sign with other teams and things like that. So, they
couldn't get a deal going.
Yeah, right.
That's what they said. They had something lined up, but they couldn't get a deal going. Come on.
Oh yeah. All right, guys.
You have 12 draft picks. Come on.
All right, guys. Tyler Boyd's name's back up in the fray here in this thing here with this number 2 receiver. Do you think Tyler Boyd will come to Pittsburgh? He got ripped off the first time. He wanted a certain amount of money. The Steelers didn't want to pay him, and he went elsewhere. So your thoughts, Smoking Jim, do you think Tyler Boyd comes to Pittsburgh? Yes or no?
Last time I seen him, he was starting to get a little tummy on him. Listen, Pittsburgh still listen. Tyler Boyd was a great player at one time, but the Steelers have a lot of Tyler Boyd types, the guys that are younger that can run faster than he can right now. So I don't think Tyler Boyd would play for under $5 million. That was a problem a couple of years ago when they tried to sign him. He may play a little cheaper this time, but no, I don't think Pittsburgh Steelers signed Tyler Boyd.
All right, guys. Now let's get into the Pitt Notre Dame this weekend. I don't know. It's going to be on NBC because all Notre Dame games are on NBC, and it starts at noon. Ticket sales are practically sold out at Acrisure Stadium, and of course that always happens when they play Notre Dame. I went to the Notre Dame game and Pitt game when Dave Wannstedt's first game as a head coach. That's when I went last to see Pitt play Notre Dame. Charlie Weiss was the head coach at Notre Dame at the time. Start with you, Pensman. Notre Dame, Pitt, who wins this weekend?
I think Notre Dame wins 35-21. I just don't think Pittsburgh's got the offense for Notre Dame's defense, so I just think that Notre Dame's going to run all over them, and they're just going to. Yeah, I think it's just going to be the defense is going to get worn out.
Well, their defensive coordinator for Notre Dame is Al Golden, And Al Golden was the head coach at Temple. He also was down in Miami too. So, and Florida International. He's been around, Al Golden. So he's a good defensive coach. He also coached under Joe Paterno up in Penn State. So, I mean, Al Golden is a very good defensive coach. I don't see Pitt winning this game. I'm going to go with Notre Dame 30, Pitt 14. That's going to be my score because I really don't see Pitt scoring anything more than that because Al Golden's defense is a real smothering type of defense that'll really get you. They've been in some dogfights too, so I'm just wondering if Pitt might be able to do something here, with a team that's been in dogfights just about every game. So, all right, Smoking Jim, your thoughts, Pitt Notre Dame.
Well, Ralph, you're talking like this is the 1971 Notre Dame team, man.
Yeah.
They do got a couple losses. And, hey, listen, Pitt's coming into this game with 0 advantages. Notre Dame's going to take over the stadium. There'll be more Notre Dame fans than Pitt fans at the stadium. Number 2, the freshman quarterback starting to make mistakes. He's starting to throw interceptions. Notre Dame will capitalize on that, and we're going to find out. I don't think Pitt plays well when they get punched in the mouth, and they're going to get punched in the mouth by Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame has a chance to make the Pitt team quit. I look for Notre Dame, who's coming off a huge win against a pretty good Navy team. I look for Notre Dame to win.
I unfortunately took Navy in that game. I wanted Navy in an upset.
I look for Notre Dame to win 50-3.
50-3?
I like that one, 50-3.
50-3?
That could happen, Pensman, because I got to tell you, I picked Navy last week. I thought Navy was going to be Notre Dame. I really did.
I thought the Sports Nuts was crazy with this 10, but I didn't hear a 3.
50-3. Hey, how about that? How about that game last night, 10-7? Oh my gosh! How about that game?
That game was so boring. I watched that game. That game was so boring.
I'm sorry. What's that, Smoking Jim?
Did you watch it? The Pensman, did you watch that game last night to the end? What a dumb decision with 27 seconds or 30 seconds. Philadelphia went for it on 4th down instead of punting it away.
And they did it.
They stopped the clock, and they almost
Yeah, I saw it. You see that field goal kick too? That field goal was way left.
Did you see the kick before that though?
Yeah, I saw the whole game. It was crazy. That was embarrassing.
He almost made that practice kick.
I know. It just Ralph. It just came up like 6 inches short or a foot long.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, 10-7. Wow. Oh, you know what? There was another game that was a low score. What was it? Denver and the Raiders.
Hey Ralph.
Yes.
Hey Ralph. Everybody who's Micah Parsons fan again. I wouldn't have paid him $180 million, and I don't blame Dallas.
I told you that back injury.
He had 0 sacks, 0 interceptions, and 1 tackle.
That back injury.
Green Bay can have that guy.
Yep.
Smoking Jim, I was on the phone with Sports Nuts most of the game, and because of the ESPN and YouTube fight, he can't watch it. So I was watching it. Micah Parsons couldn't even catch Jalen Hurts. It was embarrassing.
Well, it's that back injury, right, Smoking Jim? I told everybody about that back injury. Nobody listened.
No, I told Sports Nuts, just get the injection and go.
That's right. He needs a cortisone injection, man. You remember? And then given Sunday, he said, "Give me some of that juice, man." Remember Lawrence Taylor? He said, "Give me some of that juice." It was Shark. He was like, "Give me some of that juice." So
yeah. Raiders and Broncos were 10-7 also.
Yeah, that's it. Now, listen to this. Now I'm hearing inklings that Pete Carroll could get fired at the end of the year. Come on. Jeez. Oh, 1 year wonder, Pete Carroll. How about your Aaron Glenn there, Smoking Jim?
Wow.
Yeah, he won another game. Oh my.
Yeah, beat Cleveland and Cleveland, they didn't fire their coach yet, right?
Yes, go ahead, Pensman.
No. Smoking Jim and everybody that's watching and listening, do you know that the Lions and Commanders and the Cardinals and Seahawks both had the same score of 44-22? Did anybody know that?
Wow. Wow.
Oh
Two,
my
Wow.
God!
two games, the same score, 44-22. That
Hey,
just blows me away.
Crazy.
I got to give Smoking Jim a lot of
Wow.
credit for that, for his prediction on the Commanders this year. He said the Commanders weren't going to be that good this year, and he was right. So everybody,
That's right.
That just
everybody
blew
thought
me
he was
away.
wrong. Oh, I know that's something. All the
How
scores.
long? How long did that defensive lineman get suspended for that punch?
I didn't even hear about
You
that.
guys,
I'm sorry.
he
That's good.
punched the wide receiver for Detroit
Wow.
and got kicked out the game. But
No, he'll probably
then he
get a
got
lengthy
suspended.
fine, maybe about 50 grand, maybe in a
Well, he got at
suspension.
least one game suspension.
Yeah.
I just don't know how many games. I know it's at least one game. He
Yeah,
popped
they
him
got
real
this.
good.
They got this judge now who some woman judge. I'm not familiar with her name. They brought her in a few years back to do all these cases, and she makes the determinations now. I
Judge
think,
Judy.
yeah,
Cornelisa
Judge
Rice.
Judy. No, Judge
What
Judy.
Cornelisa Rice is
It might-
doing something else now.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. All right, guys, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. Smoking Jim always says this is the NFL. It was only one game, but it's two games in a row now. And, they won. They beat the Colts, and then they come in and lay an egg against the Chargers. Smoking Jim, we'll start with you. This game this week, and your thoughts on this week's game against the Bengals. Go ahead.
Well, you may talk about the Chargers.
Yeah, let's talk about the Chargers game first, and then give me
Okay.
your opinion about the game coming up against the Bengals and the score.
I wasn't terribly disappointed. The Pittsburgh Steelers got outcoached. Jim Harbaugh's a heck of a coach, man. He came with a combo set on DK Metcalf. He took DK Metcalf away. He had the strong safety line up like he was going to be a spy. Just in case the Steelers ran the football, he could have came up. But if they was in a passing situation, automatic double team on DK Metcalf, and the Steelers had no answer. Three downs and out. The Chargers is physical. That Herbert is the most underrated quarterback in NFL history. I don't know why people don't like Herbert. He's just outstanding. He can run. He can throw. He's big. He's an academic All-American. He's smart. They got good receivers. And they were playing at home. It's hard to win in the National Football League on the road. I told you before, Coach Cowher used to tell me that his goal was to go 7-1 at home and split the games on the road, and that way they were 11-5. And Pittsburgh Steelers got to come home now. They got embarrassed by the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Flacco's coming off of his last game, throwing for 470 yards. They have to find a way to get a victory against the Cincinnati Bengals, and they'll be right back on track.
Yeah, they have to quit playing that soft zone. I mean, it's getting old. They have to start getting more aggressive. Where's this punching the football at, creating turnovers? Where's this at? I mean, we saw this a little bit this year, but then they keep going away from it and going into that soft zone. I mean, that soft zone is killing them.
Hey, you know the Steelers better than anybody, Ralph. You've been around this team and organization almost 50
soft,
years.
Jim.
They were in LA. They played a night game in LA Sunday night. So Saturday night, I guarantee you, most of the team was out enjoying the nightlife in LA, and they played like it.
You know what my mother always says? She always says too much partying. That's what she always says. Yeah. Every time the Steelers get blown out, she says too much partying, or something like that.
I guarantee you there were some happy strippers in LA. I guarantee you.
Bensman, go ahead. Your thoughts on this Chargers go first. Smoking Jim, your thoughts, your score for the Bengals game.
Well, being that Snoop Dogg was on the sideline in LA, I know the Steelers went out the night before, but Score for the Cincinnati game, I would say Pittsburgh 34, Cincinnati 32.
Yeah, you always say that score, but it's come to fruition a few times. You were close.
Sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
Bensman, go ahead. Chargers game, and then dissect the Cincinnati game, and a score. Go.
Tiger Stripes Media and I did the game, and I went to halftime because I was half asleep, but I left at halftime. And it's just no.
No, seriously, Smoking Jim, we had to get up for work. So I mean,
Yeah. It wasn't because I was bored. I just came back from Ralph's place, and then Snoop Dogg was there, and when now we know why Rogers stunk up the joint because of being in L.A. But no, Mike Tomlin said that they couldn't convert on third downs. It's your job to prep them for third downs. You've been in this team. You know what the team's about. It was just a stupid excuse. I agree with Smoking Jim that Herbert is a good quarterback, and it's hard to win in LA. I get that, but you had to put up a fighting chance instead. But there's no fight in the Steelers. There's nothing to think. It's like they just dropped down and just let them roll over. But I don't know what else to say about the LA game. The LA game just was disappointing. It was like if you lose 25-10, something's wrong. But round 2 of the Cincinnati game, they got to play better than they did. Hopefully, the officialing's better than they did. Hopefully, Clay Martin's not on during the game this time. So hofully, we get another fishing crew that calls the game down the middle. It'll be nice. So we'll see if the officialing. But we got to get to Flacco. We didn't get to Flacco at all.
No,
last
we did.
time.
No.
So we just if we get. I said this last time, but they didn't do it.
Blitz. And blitz.
Yeah.
And blitz until they stop it. Blitz.
I miss the old Steelers, but they got to get to Flacco. They got to get in his face. They got to get pressure. But we'll see what happens. I have Pittsburgh winning round 2, 24-17.
All right, Steelers. Okay. Real quick here, Adam Schefter's reporting that running back Josh Williams of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has been suspended for 6 games without pay for violating substance abuse policy. So there you go, guys.
Wow.
And that, I want to thank Brandon Keeler for that because he sent me that. So Adam Schefter's reporting. So usually Adam Schefter's pretty good with his information, except when somebody on a certain radio station in Pittsburgh gets it and says and uses his name and it was false information. We all know who that is, right, Smoking Jim? So,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we all know who that is. He said, Adam Schefter reported that the Steelers signed so-and-so. And
looks
then
like that door's open.
Who?
Oh, okay.
All right. Smoking Jim's trying to say bingo, and, they passed him.
Sorry about that, Ralph.
That's all right.
And Travis Hunter's out for the year, too.
Yeah, I heard that. That's something else. So, well, that's a shame about him. Because Jacksonville was on a roll a little bit here. I mean, they were losing games.
That's surprised about Travis, though.
Yeah, it is. All right, guys. My score and this Chargers game was a disgrace. As you heard my rant earlier, Boswell missed a field goal. It was just a bad night all the way across the board. And I'm going to say this. I've said this. It's better to be lucky than good. Last night or Sunday night, the Steelers were not lucky. And they were not good. They didn't get lucky because there were some things, and the cornerbacks need to start catching these balls. They get them in their hands and they drop the ball. It's not a hot potato.
Especially 24. 24
yeah.
minutes.
Oh, well, Joey, yeah. I'm sorry, Pensman. See, Smoking Jim. Pensman, don't mention his name because he don't like him.
Until he does proper things, until he cut down on the penalties, but he's so handsy.
What did I say? What did I say? Like George Jefferson said that one time about Willis, touchy feely. Yeah. So, but anyway, if he keeps his hands to himself and does something other, Pensman only calls him number 24. But yeah, number 24. He's going to do what he's going to do, and he's back in the tub. Can't help the club if you're in the tub. Salamalu's supposed to be coming back from that pec injury this week. I saw, that Andrus Pete. I saw him play a couple series, and then They sacked Rodgers, and then they put Anderson back in there. So much for that extra blocking back or that extra blocker.
Darius Slay had a concussion.
Yeah, Darius Slay has a concussion, and to be honest with you, that's no loss. He's been a bum pretty much most of the year, anyway. So, that's another Sanford and Son pick or signing right there. So anyway, my thoughts of the Chargers game was it was a disgrace. They kept letting their special teams get to the 40-yard line. You can't keep letting guys have teams have good field position like that. You got to stop them. Oh, Danny Smith this, Danny Smith that, this, that, and whatever. No, when the opposite team is getting to the 40-yard line, your special teams needs to do something. I mean, you need to pin them on the 10-yard line or something. Do something. I mean, to the 40-yard line is not going to work all the time. And then with this Steeler defense right now, you think they would keep the offense of the opposing team off the field by trying to kill the clock a little bit. And Rodgers has no one to throw to. He's throwing short, dinky passes. We didn't expect that all year. And of course, Smoking Jim called it. They double and triple team DK Metcalf. He has nobody to throw to. I mean, literally.
And when DK is open, Rodgers overthrows him 5-10 yards.
Yeah, exactly. Or he drops the ball. So, yeah. I mean, you see, I said this and I'll say it again, overpaid bums. And until I see something different, that's how this Steeler team's going to be classified this year for me. Cincinnati Bengals, we got to stop Joe Flacco. Blitz, 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 blitz until the Cincinnati Bengals stop it. They have a horrible offensive line. The Steelers should have beat them the last time. They had 2 rookies in there, and they were able to hold the fort down. And the Steelers have to blitz more and stop the soft zone. It's not working. And, once again, giving up I'm going to use a Mike Tomlin saying here, chunks of yardage, chunks. They're giving up chunks and chunks and chunks and chunks. They can't defend. They can't tackle. It's been one thing after another. And here's an experienced bunch of guys. And I tell you what, the national guys are eating them up. Saying here's a team that's got probably the most experienced players of any defensive squad in the NFL. And they can't stop the run. And they can't stop the pass. They can't blitz. They can't catch a ball. The defensive backs can't catch a ball. This is a disgrace for a coach that's been coaching 18 years and about to be done with his 20th year after this contract. And I've been saying prayers and prayers and prayers that he steps away after 20 years. And I think he will. So I hope he does, or whatever happens here. So, but Steelers 24, Bengals 21. That's my score. So just to let everyone know. All right, final thoughts before we wrap it up. Go ahead, Pensman. You start off.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, I've been hearing a lot of reports. The Pittsburgh Steelers aren't going to trade Mike Tomlin for the New York Giants. They're not doing anything with the New York Giants.
Oh, speaking of that, I forgot about Brian DeBoe. Jeez, oh man.
Yeah.
How about
that? And after everybody got fired, they said Mike Tomlin's coming to New York. Mike Tomlin's not coming to New York. If you hear a report, don't believe it. If it's not coming from Fowler or Sheffield or have a report, don't believe it.
I'll tell you what, Pensman, Smoking Jim. If he goes to New York and leaves the Steelers, I'll do all my shows naked. Okay? All right? That's how much he's not going to go there. And I got swampland in Florida for sale with alligators in it. So there you go. All right. Yeah. So anyway,
that's my final one.
Okay. Thank you, Pensman. Smoking Jim, go ahead. Your final thoughts. And we forgot to talk about Brian DeBoe getting fired. Forgot about that. Sorry.
Well, Pensman or Ralph, you guys may be able to help me out on this one. I hear that the Giants fired their head coach in part because they're high on their young quarterback and they keep putting him out there with concussions. I think he had 2 or 3 concussions this year, two. And they keep putting him out there and they keep running him. So that was one of the factors in letting him go.
Well, Brian DeBoe, I hate to say this, I don't know what he did as an offensive coordinator in Buffalo. I know he did pretty well for himself. But then when he became a head coach, he turned into a complete jerk. And, I mean, he looks like it on the sidelines. He acts like it beyond that. Just stunk up the joint as a head coach with the Giants. And
His arms are always crossed too.
I'm sorry.
His arms are always crossed too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I don't want to be here. I'm like, okay, then don't be here.
He looks like Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin looks like he's as confused as a blind man in a silent movie theater. So anyway, one other thing too, I want to add real quick before we go. All you Steeler fans out there, I want to, I can't believe that Pittsburgh Steeler fans accept 9-8 every year, accept 8-9, accept this mediocrity. And also, not only just accepting mediocrity, how about this coach getting ignorant with the media at the end of the game on Sunday night? They were asking him some tough questions, and he started getting real snippy with them. You know what? He's always disrespected the media. You ought to be ashamed of himself, Mike Tomlin, for doing that. And today's press conference, he was a little snippy as well. Seemed like he was in a bad mood, and I don't blame him because his team's a disgrace.
And Tony Dungy agreed with his point, though. He understood why he was snappy.
What did Dungy say?
He said that if he went to L.A., he wasn't prepared, and that's why. But
18 years of coaching, you're supposed to be prepared.
You would think.
Come on, man.
You would think, but I was surprised Tony Dungy agreed with it.
Well, yeah, I am too, because Dungy's his buddy. I'm real surprised. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all 18 years of coaching. Come on, man. You can't get clock management right. You don't know your timeouts. You don't know how to throw the red flag. Nothing. I mean, stupid. You stand there with your eyes at the scoreboard every 5 minutes. Don't you have somebody up in the box that you can talk to or something? No. Oh, wait. Nobody wants to talk to him. That's the whole problem. So there you go.
I covered every game except for one game, and that was on Amazon Prime, and I don't have Amazon Prime. But every game that I covered and every game that I watched, I don't think Mike Tomlin has a challenge flag thrown yet.
No, because he always loses. That's why.
I know. I'm saying other years it's like 2 for 5, 1 for 5. But he hasn't even thrown a flag yet.
All right, let's get ready. We're going to wrap it up here for Sports Corner Show, and it's great to be back here today. I want to thank everybody for all their kind words and prayers and blessings for me while I was sick in the hospital last week. I missed the election day stuff and everything else, and I want to let everyone know, and I know I don't talk politics much on the show, but my good friend Tony Moreno was not successful against Corey O'Connor in the mayor's race in the city of Pittsburgh. Tune in this weekend to the Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show, and you'll find out why, because there's some stuff I find out that the Republican Party has done to kind of mess with Tony a little bit. And, so we'll talk about it this weekend. I'm not a happy camper about this election, but that's fine. But anyway, Pittsburgh wants to be the same. Shame for being the same. So there you go. All right, for Pensman Sports, Smoking Jim Frazier. Everyone have yourself a great day. We'll be back in about 2 minutes for a Wrestle Talk, so stay tuned. Thank you.